individual hoop final. So from modern dance techniques, cardiovascular techniques devised by Dr. Ken Cooper in the 1960s, the foundations of aerobic gymnastics, we move to classical ballet that has underpinned rhythmic. The start list for the hoop competition at the World Games. The top performer in qualification, Boriana Kalin of Bulgaria, will be the last to go. We start with the reigning all-around European champion, the sensation of Tel Aviv, Daria Atamanov of Israel, second best in qualification, 34.1. Well, much of the routine from Atamanov was, as you would expect, terrific, full of difficulty, full of amplitude, full of balletic skill. The beginning and the end marked by problems that will likely see her execution score, her overall score, substantially lower than in the preliminary round. We talked earlier in aerobic gymnastics about the movement patterns that underpin everything. What we'll now do as we go through rhythmic gymnastics, for those of you new to watching it, is look at some of the classical ballet that underpins the sport.
And when it comes to classical ballet, there is no doubt that her fundamentals are gorgeous. But one of the fundamentals of rhythmic gymnastics is that you must catch things cleanly. Throws and catches underpin this sport. And every time the apparatus gets away from the gymnast, there's going to be a significant deduction.
And what is key when you're watching this is the amount of travel that the gymnast has to do to retrieve the apparatus.
When she lost contact with the hoop, she did have to take several steps to get it back. Each of those steps will cost her something in tenths of points.
But what Atamanov does have is great height in her leaps. She has wonderful toe point. We'll look as we go on in our coverage today at some of the turns or pirouettes that are part of rhythmic gymnastics as well. And I'm sure for many of you this is old news. You've been watching the sport for a long time, but it never hurts, does it, just to go back and explore those fundamentals again. The sport is assessed exactly using the criteria, which is a different code of points, but the same scoring methodology as aerobic gymnastics: difficulty, execution and artistry. The artistry is a new addition to rhythmic gymnastics, or a re-addition, I should say, to rhythmic gymnastics. 31.4 for Daria Atamanov.